As long as the world is constantly changing, we are always going to bring you the information that you need to help your child make informed career decisions and the information that you need to elevate in your career and reach greater heights of success. As always, I'm your host, Libo Chibasa, and welcome to another amazing episode of Complacency Learning. As you know, we always bring you the experts with the best of the best contents to share with you. And on today's episode, we are honored to have been joined by a smart individual whose passion lies in helping professionals pivot into fulfilling careers with more impact and income. Basically, she's a purpose alignment strategist. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mpumi K Mbonane. Hi, Mpumi. It's a brand new day and welcome to another amazing episode of Complacency Learning. How are you doing today?
Hello, Nibo. I'm well. Thank you. How are you?
I am super well. I cannot complain. As they say, that every day above the ground is a blessing. So I have to say I'm honored to be above the ground.
Sure, this is so true, especially considering the rate at which people are dying lately and young people at that. Very scary.
Yes, absolutely. So can I ask you, Mpumi, to actually tell us about yourself and what you do and actually more about what you do as well?
People always complain about this question. I'm like, come on, guys, don't you know yourselves? But I actually get it. So when you're on the spotlight, it's like, what do I share? My life is so full. But anyway, I am Mpumi K Mbonane. That's what I prefer to be known as or called by. But my full name, my government name is Knowledge Nompumelelo Mbonane. So if you're wondering what the K is about, it's my first name. Knowledge. I am a township girl. I grew up in Soweto, raised by a single mom who really struggled to make ends meet. But one thing she did very intentionally was try to put us in good schools. Now, good schools doesn't mean expensive. And I was really fortunate that I could go to a Christian school as a primary school. And in high school, there was actually a feeder school into UJ called Rao Call back then. It was a school for kids from disadvantaged backgrounds that are intelligent. And I was like, okay, thanks, mom, because you think I'm intelligent. So I went to that school and it was a really, really good school. After I left high school, I went to Wits University to study a BSc in mining engineering. It was not completely my choice, but I did it because it was the traditional, safe, conventional route to follow. I mean, we've always known that engineers are never out of jobs and they earn good money. So in an attempt to get the family out of poverty, that is what I had to go and study. But years later, and we'll talk about this as we have our conversation, I decided to be true to who I am and follow what I always wanted to do. And back when I was a kid, I thought that what that was a child psychologist. And that's what I always wanted to do. But life had different plans for me. And I'm continuing to live in those plans. But I'm really, really happy with what I'm doing now, with where I am. But at my core, I'm a township girl who went to vid. So at one point, you'll hear slang from me. At another point, I'll be flating with a sporty and I'll be giving the lingo. But all in all, I'm just a well-rounded girl who loves the Lord and really loves to serve people through the work that I do.
Wow, the level of confidence. That means there's more to come from that level of confidence, eh? And you seem like a happy person. Like you said, you enjoy what you're doing. I mean, they say when you enjoy what you do, I mean, life becomes interesting,
Yeah.
Right. So what motivates you to get up in the morning?
Oh, I love this question. What motivates me to get out of bed is the fact that I haven't done all that I can do, or I am not yet all that I can be. So the idea that there's more to me. There's more to life. There's more that I can accomplish. I'm like, let's get up, let's do it. So the fact that there's more that I can be and I can do, that's what gets me out of bed every morning.
Wow. So in one of your videos that you posted on LinkedIn, right? You said you love to feel special. What does it mean to be special? And how does one get to feel special? Is it something that you have to acquire or is it a way of life?
When did I say that? Give me context. What was happening when I said I love feeling special?
Oh, it was after I signed up for that 5-day challenge that you posted on LinkedIn. Yes. the video
that
that comes afterwards.
video.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So what I mean by the fact that I love feeling special or I love knowing that I'm special is this. If I know that there's more I can get out of a situation, I'm not going to settle for a subpar version of that thing. And I think what you're referring to is the VIP upgrade that I was inviting people into after they've signed up for the challenge. My thing is, if there's a free version of something and I can get that, cool. But if I can be upgraded to better benefits, to closer interaction, to more benefits and perks, why would I not do that? So I think this is it's a uniform principle that I use across my whole life. If there's a better way to experience something, if there is better to be had, I won't settle for anything below what is best for me. I think you may have heard this, especially in the finance space, that you need to live below your means, right? They tell you spend below what you earn. And I took that statement and I was asking people, why are we comfortable with living below our means, in the sense that we can do so much. We've got so many means. We can actually even create means for ourselves. But we choose to live below that. We are in our comfort zone. We are doing the bare minimum. And I really, really don't like that. So what I meant by that is I feel very special when I tap into the highest version of what is on offer, because it also unlocks the highest version of me.
Thank you very much
Yeah.
for sharing that with us. I mean, already I'm learning from you. Like, I can't wait to learn some more coming from you, you know? And speaking of the challenge, do you mind telling us what the challenge is really all about?
The 5-day where is my purpose taking me next challenge. So I did this challenge maybe a year or two ago, and it was because having conversation with my target market, right, or the professionals that I serve, I understood that they're doing the work that they're doing, but some of them are thinking, what is my next move? What is my next step? And so I thought to bring that back off the back of me actually leaving corporate. So for those who don't know, the 31st of March 2023 was my last day in corporate after I had spent 6 years with a particular bank. And so when I left, I thought there are probably a lot of other people who are like, I've been wondering what my next move is, but I just don't know what step to take. And as I go around these corporates and these events speaking, people come up to me and say, I really like what you're doing. I want to do what you're doing, but I just don't know how to make it happen. So the 5-day challenge is literally me spending 5 evenings with everyone who's going to sign up. And I'm going to be taking them through a strategy of where their purpose is taking them next. And maybe also let me give some insights into the work that I do. I'm a purpose alignment strategist. And so what I do is that I help ambitious professionals pivot into fulfilling careers with more money and more impact, right? With more impact and more income, simply by them aligning their purpose to their profession. So what we're going to do in the challenge is really I'll be taking you through a number of strategies to say, okay, here are the levels of professionals that exist in the world. Where are you? And where do you actually want to be? And what is the journey to get you there? On day 2, we'll be talking about what it means to be in your purpose sweet spot, how you will know when you are in your purpose sweet spot. Because before you can take the next step, you need to have a vision of what that purpose sweet spot is, right? In day 3, I'll be then taking you through how do you actually then come to what your purpose is. Day 4, how do you align that to your profession? And day 5, I will be challenging you the most because I'll be talking to you about eradicating fear, or maybe not eradicating fear, but working with the fear that you're feeling and with the fear in mind, but also investing to get to your next. Because the truth of the matter is, if we continue to do what we've always done, we will always land where we've always landed. And for most people, where they currently are. So we'll be talking about what it means to invest in yourself in order to get to your next. So I'm very, very excited for everyone that's coming to the challenge.
I'm in. Count me in. Yeah, I can't wait. Like count me in. Like I'm one of those people that are interested actually in your what you call this, the challenge. Hence I signed up. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just wait to hear more from her, what it really is all about, you know. But thank you for shining a light on that one there. And you seem to be happy with the industry that you're in right now. If you don't mind me asking, how did you end up in that industry?
I've always been in this industry. Okay. Let me stop joking, but I'm also not joking. So I used to be a kid who, even when I was in school, I would gather all the kids in the community to teach them maths and to teach them English. Again, I told you, I think I went to really great schools, and I would get home and I'm speaking English and all the other kids are like, and I thought, everyone needs to speak this nice English and I'm going to help all of them. So I would, you remember those old doors that we used to have that were iron, right? Corrugated iron. So ours was rusted and it was brown. So it was a perfect chalkboard for me. And so I'd write all those sums there, and I'd write all the English, all the English there, and I'd teach them. And then to reward them, I'd give them toys. So I used to buy toys a lot as well. We'd play with my toys, or we'd just play whatever. I think if you grew up in a township or village, you will know playing house, right? Where there's a mom and a dad and kids.
I always wanted to be the father.
Everyone wanted to be the parents. So we'd play that, and I would go and steal tomato and this cocoa papa from the house so we can also eat. I've always been this person, right? During school holidays, every other kid would come to my yard and we'd play, you must remember, Coca-Cola Pop Stars. We used to play beauty contest. We used to play Jiga Majiga. And when I look back at these things, I've always wanted to harness the greatness in people. I was always a person who was intentional about identifying talent and giving a spotlight to it, right? I also had a best friend, Nonkulego, who her and I would stand on a rock by the corner every after school preaching with our small blue Gideon Bibles. So she would say in Sotho, and I would say in Zulu, Lithi izinglenkosi. And we would preach, right? I was always this kid. I know in grade 7, I went to audition for Yo TV Presenter Search. And that needs no saying. I didn't get that role or that position, but I've always been this person. I spoke in church, I spoke in school, but when I look at it now, it's always been to develop people and harness the brilliance within them. I said earlier that I wanted to do psychology, but now I'm a coach. Now I'm a consultant. And when I look back at my life, or maybe even now, because I'm more self-aware now, I realize how much of an empath I am. I feel so deeply. If you were to tell me something that is horrible that's happening in your life, that thing latches on me, right? I take it with me home. And I'm imagining how I would have been as a psychologist. I probably wouldn't have coped. And the work that I'm doing now is work that utterly fulfills me. And I'm realizing it isn't work that you do as a psychologist. Coaching and psychology are different. Consulting and psychology are different. But back then, all I knew was social work and psychology, nothing of coaching, nothing of consulting. And so it all worked out in the end. But you asked me how I got into this industry. I think it really just happened to me. I shared my voice on a bigger platform, which was my social media platforms. I shared my thoughts. I went through my own career journey. And when I shared my story, people were like, what? Me too. How did you effect change? And so I documented my journey. I put it into a program, and all my clients that go through my program go through this journey of discovering your purpose, aligning it to a profession, thriving in it, and receiving your due and worthy accolades for the amazing work that you're doing in the world. And so it really evolved from me being that kid always who used to do the things that I do now, but obviously as a kid. But it all started when I began to share my story and stepping into my power then of helping other people come to the other side where I was now.
Oh, wow, this is really your passion. Like from what you're saying, like, I mean, starting from a young age, it's what you've always wanted, you know. Just that at that time you didn't realize that, okay, this is what I really want, because you wanted to be something else, you know. But yeah, to see that it's really your passion. No wonder why you're so good at it. Because they say when you let passion drive you, then everything
I
goes smoothly,
appreciate
you know.
that.
No, like you're really good. That's why I didn't even hesitate to say I'm in, you know. And I hope a lot of people come there because I mean we have so many people that are afraid to use their voice, you know. So we don't want to stand out and talk. We just wanna we want everything to just happen very like easy on an easy slate and stuff, you know. But to have people like you to help people stand out, it's really amazing, you know, and I have to commend you for what you're doing. It's really amazing, like I said. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. So you said that on the 31st of March 2023, you walked away from a corporate job after having worked for a bank for like 6 years at like a certain bank, I mean. So how did that make you feel? And would you say that was the best decision of your life?
I've been wanting to leave corporates for a number of years now. And I sort of hit myself every time I say it wasn't the okay, I sort of hit myself every time I say but it wasn't the right time, because I feel like the right time is a construct, right? But the truth of the matter is this was the time to make the move, because if anyone's been paying close attention to even my banking career, they'll see that in the last year I've been making a shift, right? And I was sort of laying the groundwork for me leaving. And so I've always wanted to leave, but this was the time for me to leave. And let me tell you, the day that I told my manager that I am leaving, I was bouncing off the walls. I was so excited, like, oh my gosh, it's really happening. So I wasn't ever scared to make the decision. I wasn't ever nervous about what are you doing, because I really believe that I found my purpose. And I've done the work of aligning it to a profession. And so it can only be up from here because I've done the groundwork. I don't know if you're Christian, but I am. And there's a verse in Proverbs, I think it's 24, verse 27, that says, prepare your outside work, make it fit for yourself in the field, and then build your house. So I've prepared my outside work. I've made it fit for myself in the field. And now I can comfortably build my house, because I know that once the house is steady and it's standing and it's strong, I can go in, and when it's harvest time, I can go out and take the harvest. I'm not starting from scratch. And so the excitement and the readiness for me came from a place of being prepared, or preparing myself all this while. And that is what I want to do. That is the work that I want to do with every other professional, to say, your fear is probably because you're not prepared. Let me prepare you. Let me prepare you for the journey, so that when you make the jump, you're not from a mountain, but you're actually landing on a strategy and a plan that you've been creating all this time.
Wow, coming from the best. So you know, I believe that you are more interested in you love the future more than the past, correct?
Let me think about that. I'm excited for the future, and I appreciate the past.
Appreciate it, because the past has helped you become the person you are today.
Yeah, and the lessons that come from there. I really appreciate the past. It hasn't always been easy. Horrible things have happened, things I wish would have never happened to me, but they've grown me. I've learned things from that. And I think that's what makes me even more excited about the future, because I'm a better person. I'm a wiser person. Yeah.
So I see you constantly work on developing yourself. Right. So, and speaking of that, and I believe that, you know, when you work on developing yourself, it's not a smooth road. Obviously, there's challenges that we face. Right. So,
Yeah.
so if you don't mind me asking, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now?
Can you still see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Fantastic. The biggest challenge I'm facing right now. Okay, so all these years from 2020 to now, I've been working in my business, right? My coaching and consulting firm. What I'm doing now is venturing into corporate speaking and corporate consulting. And I don't have a problem with putting myself out there, but like pitching and saying to companies, hey, I've got a solution for you. That's a little bit intimidating for me, because I can put up challenges for my business. I can always get on discovery calls and push my services to individual professionals. But these big corporates, to say, you're bleeding talent and I've got a way to help you out, that's slightly intimidating. So I think my biggest challenge will be this year to get myself into these corporates and do the work that I say I can do. Yeah.
I'm one of those people, like I'm one of the people that don't even, like, I say I want to go into corporate, but for me to actually pitch, I'm like, imagine a group of serious people looking at me.
Like, hello, little girl.
Yeah. And you try to crack a joke and then people are just looking at you like, are you going to get straight to the point? And then you feel intimidated and now you start to share. You lose all the content you wanted to share with them, So,
yeah,
but I've been finding it very hard to actually prepare myself for that. But with your course, I believe that, I'm going to stand out, So, like, do you see your career in great demand in the next 5 to 10 years?
In the next 5 to 10 years, I would love to say yes, because, and I read such a funny title of an article just the other day, that if people want to compete with robots, they have to be more human. What? But it makes sense, right? Because what these robots are learning are the technical parts of the work that we do, not the human part, not the heart to heart, not the personality that they can never adopt. And so I think there will always be a need for my career for as long as people are intentional about developing themselves and self-actualizing. And I don't think anyone will ever get to a point where they're like, oh, I'm done learning. I know everything there is to learn. I've done developing this. I've reached the ceiling of my life. Never. So I really think there's always going to be room for me to do the work that I do for that reason. And here's what I believe about purpose, especially, that for as long as you breathe, and I'm talking about each individual, right? For as long as you breathe, your purpose will always be relevant. What will happen is that it will evolve. It won't change, but it will take different form depending on what the need is for that generation and for that season. So the day you die, it means your purpose, and not that it's no longer relevant, but you would have run your course. But if you wake up every morning, it means there's work that you still need to do. There's still a reason for you to be in this world. And so my work might not look like what I'm doing now, but the essence and the purpose will never be lost for as long as I live. And I'll always find a way to be relevant and to always deliver on the purpose in 5 and 10 years to come.
So you basically would recommend your career to the newbies?
I would recommend my career to a newbie whose passion and purpose it is to be in this spot. I will never go around saying, be a coach, be a speaker, be a consultant. It's not in you, you'll never make it work. But for those who feel like the avenue for their purpose is through coaching, or the avenue for their purpose is through speaking, or the avenue for their purpose is through consulting, I would definitely recommend it. Communication is such an important skill, and people get paid well for being able to communicate well.
No, that is true. Eh? That is true. There's even people making a lot of money from that.
Yeah.
So what you're sharing is a great content that you're sharing with us. I have to say, and I believe that a lot of people are gonna find it interesting. And to those that are finding it interesting and would like to connect with you, and also that those that would like to be part of your 5-day challenge. So where can they connect with you online?
So I love Instagram more than I love LinkedIn. Okay, let me say, for my social life, I love Instagram. But for business, to get business opportunities, I love LinkedIn, right? So on Instagram, I am Mpumi K Mbonane. That is Mpumi K Mbone. Yeah, Mbonane. And I'm spelling this because just today I realized that there was a fake account created in my name. So I am Mpumi K Mbonane. My post span back from 2013, 2014. So if you see only recent posts, know that no. They're trying to scam you. So that's me on Instagram. But on LinkedIn, I am Nompumelelo Mbonane. And I love engaging with anyone who engages me. I think you may have seen as well. whoever sends me a direct message, I'm on there like, hello, let's connect. So yeah.
And you're very quick to
And on
respond,
all these platforms, I've got a link on my profile or on my bio that will help people register for the 5-day challenge.
By the way, you're very quick to respond. and I like it. I was like, what? She just responded. I'm like, that was quick. Or some people take forever.
I love interacting with people. I really love interacting with people. And so I guess it comes through, because even a lot of people, when they meet me, they're like, you really respond to messages. And I'm like, yeah, I do.
No, that's nice, because you make communication even easier. And I like how you actually flowing with these conversations, because I mean, I'm in a space where I feel free to actually communicate with and ask you questions, because of how you're responding, and also that smile on your face, which says, hey, I'm friendly, I really like it.
Let's talk.
All right. So when I was watching one of your videos, especially the one where you were hosting the APSA, you were hosting an event at the APSA, I mean, you said something about a strategy is nothing if it doesn't have the right people executing on it. Is that your favorite quote?
No, it's not. It was a quote that is relevant for that moment.
What's your favorite quote?
So what we were going to have, the person we were going to have next was going to be talking about key performance indicators, right? And what the strategy is and how all the teams can align themselves towards reaching the strategy. So being a natural presenter that I am, I had to create a link between the previous speaker and the next speaker. And so it was very important for me to talk about strategy then, and reinforcing to people that it doesn't matter if you've just got a grand strategy, but nobody is committed to actually making it work. And I think this is also what we see with our government, especially, and I'm sorry to become political, but if you read the manifesto of the ANC, particularly of our ruling party, the manifesto is good. It's got great aspirations for what South Africa can be. But do we have the right people to execute on the strategy? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So we've got great ideals as organizations, as people, as governments, as nations, but the execution is what kills us. And if you don't have the right people for that execution, you can forget about the strategy.
Because otherwise then it becomes useless,
Honestly, it's like a good business plan, but you never actually do the work.
That is true. And one of the guests that I had, I don't know if you watched that episode about Dr. Nicholas Odongo. So he was actually talking about eradicating poverty, and he did mention that the problem why poverty is not ending is because the people that are trying to solve it are not the people that are experiencing it. So it becomes so hard to come up with a solution if they're not even the ones experiencing it. So you're speaking about the strategy. I think also, they should also try and understand how people feel, and put themselves in those shoes. So now I love to ask this question in closing. It's one of my favorite questions. Like, as you know, they say that we learn every day. Learning is it's not only reading the books, it's not only going to school or have somebody teaching you stuff, right? It happens every day and in so many different ways. And it's something, it's a process, and it needs one to be dedicated and determined. So to you, what does it mean to learn?
Sure. There's a quote that I love. The quote says, a mind once stretched by a new idea can never go back to its original dimensions. So that's what learning is. Yes, that's what learning is for me, stretching to new dimensions that make it so difficult for you to ever shrink back to who you were and how you always did things.
Oh, wow. Well explained. Well explained. I have to say that, like I said before, it's a great content that you share with us, and I believe that is going to stay in the hearts of many, and I hope a lot of people are going to find this very helpful. And also, I just want to take this moment to encourage people to actually join the 5-day challenge, as I believe there's a lot that people can learn from it, because I believe it's all about teaching people to stand out, and also know what the next purpose is. Am I correct? Hello. Mpumi, that I would really like to take this opportunity to actually encourage everybody or most of them to actually come and be part of the 5-day challenge, as I believe it's going to help a lot of people, because I'm already feeling motivated about it. Like I really want to come, from the content you share and knowing that it's been your passion ever since from a young age. I mean, without a doubt, I believe there's a lot to learn. And I believe that it's all about helping people stand out, isn't it?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
yes, because
I
like,
use a framework called the data framework. So it's discover your purpose, align it to your profession, thrive in it, and receive your accolades. I really think exceptional work cannot be missed. And the work that I do with every professional is to get them to do their most exceptional work and then get their awards.
All right, awesome. That is great. That is great. Like I said before we started, that we live in a time where everybody's busy. We're always wondering what's next and stuff like that, right? And for you to actually come and share with us such an amazing content, I have to say that on behalf of myself and our listeners, we are really honored. Hey, I hope that you touch as many in whatever you're going to be doing next. I hope you touch as many as you're gonna touch on this episode. Right,
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me onto your platform. I love that I get to plant seeds wherever I go and to get messages from people saying you don't know how just your life, forget your work, but how your life has inspired me to dream big, to cultivate a relationship with God, to go after the things I want. That touches my heart. And so if anyone from this conversation or from watching this or listening to this can make one bold move or make a big decision, I've done my work.
That is true. They say if you're not willing to explore new ideas, then you're just gonna be stuck with the same idea. I'm really happy that you came, and also I'm really looking forward to a continued relationship.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for inviting me. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I also had a lot of fun. Eh? I really cannot wait until it goes online so people can really hear this content for themselves.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right then. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
We always bring you nothing but the best content from the best experts in the field. The content that was shared by Mpumi is really great and amazing. And I believe that it's actually going to help a lot of us elevate into our careers and also to help our children make informed career decisions. To those of you that would like to get in touch with Mpumi, please do so on the details that are provided at the bottom of the screen. And also, if you would like to be part of the Where is My Purpose Taking Me challenge, please do contact her, as I believe there's a lot to learn. I'm one of the people that are going, by the way, so you should also go because I feel that there's a lot to benefit. As you know, from the content that you shared, we can say that she's very passionate about this. And from someone who's really passionate about this, I mean, you can never come back the same. So ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for the next episode, and also remember to like and subscribe so you do not miss any episode that we share. And until then, stay safe.